This is the Maharaja of Pratibandapuram. He is famous for declaring a lifelong personal war against an entire species, based on a prediction made when he was only 10 days old. According to the state astrologers, the prince's birth in the hour of the bull sealed his fate. Since the bull and the tiger are natural enemies, they insisted that his end would inevitably come from a tiger. Mathematically, the danger was concentrated entirely on a single encounter. He wasn't at risk from every tiger, only the 100th. To outcalculate the universe, his logic was simple. Wipe out exactly 100 tigers, and the probability of death drops to absolute zero. To protect this equation, he issued an immediate royal decree. Tiger hunting in Pratibandapuram was strictly banned for everyone except the Maharaja himself. With the forests closed to the public and the king standing alone against the wild, the experiment began. He intended to prove that a crown and a rifle could truly force the hand of destiny. The Maharaja began his campaign with the clinical detachment of an auditor. He viewed the forests of Pratibandapuram as a ledger, and every tiger killed was a variable successfully struck from the list. A sudden political variable threatened to derail the hunt. A high-ranking British officer arrived in the state demanding to shoot a tiger in the king's private forest. Native rulers in the colonial era held their thrones only through the favor of the British Raj. By refusing the officer, the Maharaja risked losing his entire kingdom to the colonial authorities. To secure his position, he sent 50 expensive diamond rings to the officer's wife, assuming she would select one and return the rest. The woman kept all 50 rings. The Maharaja soon received a bill from the jewelers for 3 lakh rupees, a staggering sum for the state treasury to absorb. The Maharaja paid the bill without complaint. To him, a kingdom's fortune was a fair price to pay to keep his personal monopoly over fate intact. The campaign continued until the king had killed 70 tigers, driving the species into local extinction within his own borders. He solved the target shortage by marrying a princess from a neighboring state, choosing his bride specifically because her father's kingdom still had a large tiger population. As he reached 99 kills, the targets vanished once again. In a fit of tyrannical frustration, the king doubled land taxes and began firing his officers for failing to produce the final tiger. Fearful for his own job, the king's chief minister, the Dewan, secretly hauled an old, senile circus tiger from a park in Madras and left it in the forest for the king to find. The king fired. The frail tiger was so weak it simply fainted from the noise of the shot, but the Maharaja walked away, convinced he had finally balanced his equation. When the servants realized the tiger was still alive, they were too terrified to tell the truth. Instead of admitting the king missed, they shot the animal themselves to protect their careers. The king's victory was now based on a lie. In a system built on fear, the bureaucratic obsession with pleasing the ruler had created a fatal gap in his data. Convinced he had conquered death, the Maharaja finally turned his attention to his family. For his son's 3rd birthday, he went searching for the perfect gift. He settled on a poorly carved 300 rupee wooden toy tiger, the very object that would fulfill the prophecy. The toy was covered in tiny imperfections. While playing with his son, a rough wooden sliver from the toy pierced the king's right hand. A severe systemic infection developed in the tiny wound. It spread rapidly up his arm, and despite the efforts of 3 elite surgeons, the Tiger King died on the operating table. The 100th tiger had taken the king's life after all. The original prediction proved mathematically sound, even if it arrived in a form the Maharaja never expected. Kalki's story ends with a biting irony. The Maharaja spent a lifetime and a kingdom's fortune attempting to outmaneuver a prophecy, only to have his own obsession build the trap that caught him. He had conquered 99 living tigers, only to be defeated by a 300 rupee toy.